Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, June the 22nd, 2023. Thursday, June the 22nd. Well, now the tables are turned. Summer wants to talk to Kyle. Summer's, oh, I'm so sorry, Kyle. Oh, Summer, Kyle, you want to know what's so funny about what Harrison did? He said a funny, you know. And Kyle's like, yeah, I heard that. Oh, you must have heard it after I read him his story or whatever. And Kyle is just like, Summer, I don't have time. He's like, I gotta go. I'm going to work. Kyle, can we talk? And he's like, you know what, Summer? For weeks, I tried to talk to you. For weeks. For weeks, I asked you, please don't leave our bedroom. At least I could hold you to comfort you. You weren't having none of it. None. Period. He says, I need time to see where my feelings go with this. And just like I gave you time, you need to give me time. And she couldn't really say anything once he said that because she did. Oh, isn't it funny? It was all the Summer was all, I gotta go do this. I got, everything wouldn't, even before she knew Phyllis was alive, she was pushing him away. Okay. Now, part of it was, and your mother was convinced. So that whole dynamic with Diane, she thinking Diane was responsible, Kyle defending his mother. So there was a whole lot that initially caused a divide, right? Because evidence was pointing to Diane, and Summer needed somebody to blame for her mother's freakish attempted murder, because really the actual cause was allegedly the accident with the ambulance. But anyway, you know what? We all knew they were getting ready to put Audra and Kyle together when she happened to give him his cell phone, didn't we? We knew that. Soap opera, especially The Young and the Restless, is so predictable. Sometimes it's so predictable, it gets boring when it happens the way you just knew it was going to happen. Just like as close as Sharon and Chance are, and actually, I think they make a good couple, Sharon and Chance. They've been putting Chance and Summer together way too much, and they don't match at all. They have no, their chemistry ain't even right. So I hope that the writers don't make that stupid mistake, right? And Ashley was a broken record with Billy. How stupid is she? The first 10 conversations she's had with Billy about Jack and Diane, I'm sorry, Billy made himself crystal clear to her where he stood the first 10 conversations. So to have 11, I fast forwarded the whole thing. I'm done. I'm done with that. Ashley actually to me is going to lose Tucker simply because, girl, you have no focus and no life of your own. And this has been too long. First it was funny to me. I'm humoring you now. And as a matter of fact, it's like he told Audra later. He ran into Audra at the bar at the GCAC, and she's like, how are things going with you and Ashley? And he goes, they're going really well. He said, however, she's actually trying to go after Jabot, take it from Jack. And he goes, and so Audra goes, oh, isn't that what you wanted? Because you wanted Jabot all along. He goes, you know what? All that family infighting. He leaned back. He goes, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Tucker is even getting tired of the mess, the hot mess That is Ashley. Bottom line, Jack is going to do what Jack is going to do. Ashley doesn't even know that Jack is promoting Diane to Chief Training Officer, so CTO, another a made up TO, right? CTO. Because see, I'm sorry, CTO in any other company is called HR, right? Human resources. Human resources. That's all it is. That's not an executive position. I mean, it could be senior management, some companies, possibly executive if you're the director of HR, and it's a huge company. Jabot is a huge company, but CTO, okay, there we go. The director of HR has no stake in the company, none. But for the sake of writing, for the sake of the way they're writing, they're making it that way. Ashley doesn't know. Wait till that comes out. Jack was working with the publicist for the press release on that. And my whole thing is, he's moving way too fast. The other person's retiring, who obviously have been there for years. They're going to give her a line. Oh, Gladys Smith retired after 15 years. Boop, that's it for her. No matter what a great job she'd done. There we go. That's it. They ain't even giving her a party, y'all. Anyway, anyway. So yeah, Ashley, I was done with her. Because Jack comes in, now three of them is arguing, and Billy's just looking, he's sick of it. Then they get a text from Tracy. Now, mind you, Tracy has they showed her agent, Zelda Wilford, who I guess back in the day when Tracy started writing, I could see her being on the show, younger. Both of them were way younger. So obviously Zelda had a small role back in the day, and they decided to bring her back, and she talks Tracy into doing, she's a writer. She goes, you write yourself out of impossible situations in your stories, or your characters out of impossible situations. Tracy, you can do something. Be creative with your family. So Tracy sends everybody from Kyle to Jack, Ashley, and Billy. I'm surprised she involved Billy, because he was like a third wheel out there. And they all rush over. Summer and Diane are already at the house. And Diane actually gave Summer some good advice. Diane actually, I kind of think, truly doesn't hold anything against Summer, right? By the advice she's given her. Okay. So they're there when everybody comes home, and immediately Tracy calms everybody down, because they're like, is something wrong with Harrison? Well, if I'm sending you a text, come home quick, I would put in there, it's Harrison, so that you know to really come home, right? I'm not going to just be ominous about the text. So anyway, she goes, no. And they all say hello to the agent, and she leaves. And Tracy starts to talk, and, she goes, Dad would want us to put our family back together, or this whole divide, it can't continue. And so Ashley's like, well, I'm sorry, I can't talk about Dad or mending fences with Diane in the room. And so Jack says, Diane is part of the family. And I'm thinking, no, she's not, right? She's not yet, Jack. And so Ashley goes, well, okay, then let me call Tucker. Of course you would say. And Tracy goes, wait, oh my goodness, let's not go off on that tangent, because Ashley's right. Diane's going to be here, so is Tucker. So Tracy says, Diane and Summer, can you please leave? Which Summer, out of anybody, is married to Kyle, but okay. And so Jackson, no, she doesn't have to leave. And so Ashley goes, yeah, she's not a part of the family, Jack. And then he's like, she does not have to leave her home. And so she goes, well, then I'm calling Tucker. I mean, So finally, Diane and Billy's just like, oh my God. And Tracy's like, man, this is going to be difficult. So Diane finally says, listen, Jack, I'll leave. I'll go. Right? If it'll help, I don't mind. And Ashley's like, yeah, good. And so Summer goes, and I will go with her. And Kyle's looking like, I don't care, good. You know? So Summer and Diane leave. And then the show has a number of cameo scenes, which actually started with Tracy before she got to the house. But, you know, scenes of advice the father gave, various times in their lives where he's given them advice, John, and he's been there for them through the years. And, you know, as they're talking, and Tracy would say, Dad always this, that, and the other, they would start to have their flashbacks of Dad. But you want to know what was interesting? Billy never had a flashback of Dad. There were none. Want to know why? Wasn't that Billy? It was the various actors throughout the years that played Billy that did have moments with John. But the funny thing is, and I wasn't watching The Young and the Restless as much, you know, I was around. I did see, because I thought the Glow by Jabot teens were entertaining to me. So I was around for that pretty much whole period watching. But Billy and John weren't really that close. There was such a huge age gap, even though John tried, he loved Billy, but Jill had sent Billy away to boarding school. And, you know, Jill controlled a lot of Billy's upbringing. And John was just there if Billy chose to be around John. You know, John had a very, very active role because remember, Dina left those kids when they were little, and John was the only one that raised them. So he was very, very close to his older three. So they ultimately are having their own little flashbacks and starting to talk sensibly, amicably to each other. And Tracy says, okay, we've got a common ground and we have a start. Because really the problems is with Ashley and Jack. And even throughout what Ashley, one of her flashbacks, her father was saying, my beauty, the situation with you and Jack has to stop. See, Jack and Ashley have been fighting for decades. They just have, you know? So anyway, Tracy says, I'm gonna leave. And Billy says, I'm gonna leave too. You know, they do allow Kyle to speak about his feelings, you know, and he goes, well, you know, I'm having enough problems in my life dealing with Summer. He goes, I know I keep looking at Ashley. I know I can't convince you to see my mother the way we see my mother. He says, any more than you can convince my father to see Tucker the way you see Tucker. I know that. He says, but can you guys dial it down? It's just hard for me to even get my head together to deal with my own problems. And so Ashley and Jack agree to, yeah, they agree that yes, they can dial it down because has been out of control, right? So allergies today, y'all, allergies. So with that being said, Kyle leaves. And that's when Tracy says a few more words. And then she goes, I'm going to leave you to it. And Billy says, I'm going to go with you. You know, so Billy and Tracy leave. Now that leaves Jack and Ashley. Now they don't go into true conversation with Jack and Ashley. They actually show them sitting closer together, Jack on the side chair, Ashley on the couch close to him. And they're starting to talk to one another. So there's going to be some sort of a truce, some sort of one, until, guess what? The publicist makes the announcement about Diane being promoted to executive position of CTO. And that's going to set Ashley off. That's going to start the whole thing going. So that is it, for The Young and the Restless today. This was a filler episode. Realistically, this episode could have happened at any time. The only thing that truly kept it relevant was, you could tell what time it was. Jack talking with the publicist, and Summer talking to Kyle. Everything else, it was all flashback. This was a throw together. We don't have nothing in the works. I don't know if the writer strike is now, we're starting to see the effects of that or not. I don't know, but that's exactly what that was. So let's go to comment corner. We have LaShunta. She says, Nikki told Vicky to let Nick choose. She called Nick to meet her. She knew Sally lost her baby. So cold, so nonchalant, which was true. She goes, I need to see you. And he's like, I'm at the hospital. Well, this is important. I'm thinking, right? So when Nick gets there, of course, the conversation goes, he doesn't have a choice. And then LaSanta brought up some history that she read. Matt Clark raped Sharon in high school. When she got pregnant, she told Nick he raped Sharon, the Matt Clark. Nick asked her to take a DNA test. She said no because it could hurt the baby. She was stressed out and arguing with Nick. She had an accident, and Nick had to choose between Sharon and the baby. He chose Sharon, and it was his baby, so it ended up being his. I wasn't watching during that period of time. LaShunta says, poor Adam, I don't care anything about Sally because she knows about that he's broken inside, and for him to want her forgiveness. Now, all the time she's been in the hotel, Nick wants her to move in. That is interesting. Nick's like, hey, come move in with me. And I'm thinking, wow, that's out the blue. Okay. Faith needs therapy. I'm surprised Sharon didn't insist upon that. I'm surprised because Sharon is a therapist and she knows that was a traumatic event for Faith. Traumatic. Yeah, you may want to go back to the campus, but you know what? I'm still going to give you the names of the therapists that you're going to see while you're there because you're not okay, honey. Trust me. But Sharon didn't do that. Truth be told, Sharon probably needs some therapy too. She needs to go see one of her colleagues. Let me see. Vicky is low down. Victor needs to take her seat. She wants Nate and Nick's job so bad. Nikki can see right through her. See, Nick, when telling them about Nate, no one would listen, or they wouldn't listen. Victor's letting her get away with too much. She's a traitor. She begged Nick to come to work for Newman, and now she can't wait until I can't wait until she gets hers. Nikki knows a snake when she sees one. And then Libby says Victoria will now probably go gangster with Nate to destroy McCall. So the good thing is that's going to be good, because I don't care what and who Victoria and Nate think they are. Adam, when he's on the dark side of the planet, nobody can touch Adam with his deviousness, with his Adam can go, he is Victor Newman on steroids when it comes to ruthlessness and deviousness. See, Victoria, she's modeled herself after Daddy. She's the female version of Daddy with practice. with practice, with learning, watching daddy. Adam didn't have all the watching, learning time. Adam came with this innate, almost evil, at times, really evil. Victoria can't touch that. So I can't wait for that to be unleashed. I don't know if this actor can play that. That's interesting. I don't know. This actor can play hurt very well. This actor can play mad, and this actor can play broody very well. But we haven't seen this actor playing Adam just be downright evil. And he needs to pull that out of himself to really bring the character of Adam Newman back to the screen. And right now, that's what we need to see. Because, see, truth be told, everybody, Adam and Victoria are gunning for him. They're plotting and they're scheming. He needs to come in full body armor and start the attack. That's what he needs to do. So anyway, that's it. Today was, like we said, a filler episode. Could have been any time. So let's see what happens on the next episode of The Young and the Restless.